Welcome back, gods and goddesses, to the Gifted Goddess channel, where I channel my gifts for the collective in a multitude of ways. And I encourage you, as always, to not only seek your gifts, but find meaningful ways to use them for the collective advantage in any way that deems fit. This will be a 204 message and a 504 message. So we got a spiritual war out in these streets, and there's layers to this. Strap up, put your boots on, and let's go. Okay? For this message, I was guided to watch the movie to channel. The movie's called Just Mercy with Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan. It came out in 2019 and it's on Netflix. Something about Netflix specifically is significant. 1, 2, 3, as I said, that could be a confirmation for someone, but something about that is significant. I'm just hearing divine timing with that. The movie is basically based on the justice system, right? So someone could be dealing with the justice system at this time, the legalities of it all, okay, on a personal level. On another level, right, we could look at this as the things we're seeing occur in the literal justice system having to do with, the rules, regulations, and laws being placed and passed down, right? If we take it to a higher level, it's levels to this shit, okay? Just know that's why we're heavily coded over here, so you know what you're getting into right from the beginning. Something about 223 is significant. But if we look at this on a higher level, right, as above, so below. So there's levels to this shit, right? Spiritually, I'm just hearing court is in session. I'm hearing the gavel. And then I'm hearing court is adjourned. Okay, so something about that is significant. A ruling has been made, apparently, with the gavel sounding and court being adjourned. A ruling has been made. Adjourn. A journey is significant. So the movie was basically about a Harvard law student, Brian Stevenson, who makes it his personal mission to defend wrongfully accused prisoners in the South during the late 80s. We know this was a tumultuous time with the race wars and things like that, right? And the just injustices within the justice system. So he defends a man named Walter McMillian, played by Jamie Foxx, and Brian is played by Michael B. Jordan. Any of those names could be significant confirmations for anyone or someone that may be dealing with the criminal justice system in your life if this resonates for you. Remember, not all messages will apply. If it does apply, catch the vibe. If it doesn't, just let it fly. But something about this is significant for you if you clicked on this channel. But Walter McMillian in 1987, this is a real story, mind you. This is based on true story, actual events. You can look this up. This was an actual lawyer who defended people on the Green Mile, if you know, right? So Walter McMillian was accused in 1987. Somebody could be born in 87. 87 is significant. Also 1995. I saw that before I channeled this. It's significant. But he was on trial and on the Green Mile for unaliving an 18-year-old girl. He was sentenced to be unalived despite evidence proving his innocence. Stephen encounters racism, legal and political maneuverings as he fights for his life within the system, right? So, okay, let's say that again. Stevenson encounters racism, legal and political maneuverings as he fights for his client's life, right? Something about a lawyer could be significant. I'm hearing someone posing as a lawyer. What? Okay, so something about that is significant. You just need to recognize that court isn't a session spiritually, right? So a ruling has been made spiritually if you feel like you are going through, spiritual court of the things, right? Judgment will be made fairly. The scales will be balanced. That's what I'm hearing as far as that level of it, okay? Also, everything has to be balanced out. While justice may be blind here, that's not the case in the spiritual world, is what I'm getting, okay? It's really fair, it's really just, so it has to be balanced out. So even when it looks unbalanced in certain times or seasons, just understand that it will tilt back into balance. Something about axes and tilting, like, how the earth sits on an axis. Something about things being tilted and balanced back and forth, if you will. Something about that significant for someone. But on that level, that's being taken care of. I'm hearing court is adjourned. Everybody's leaving the courtroom, right? If you are dealing with a situation, you or a loved one who is dealing with a situation within the criminal justice system, it will be balanced out. I'm hearing no worries. This person will be released as long as, they're on the side of right, and they're not egregious out here. They will be released. Okay? I'm hearing on the flip side of that, people in your life that may be having to go through judgment, okay, people that kind of skated by, okay, the scales are tipping in balance. So those people who I'm hearing got away with murder, or you think got away with X, Y, and Z and operating in the lowest of low vibrations, the scales will be balanced. So those who deserve justice and who are wrongfully confused, I said confused. I meant to say wrongfully accused. Did I have something confused? Just know those who are wrongfully accused, those things will be balanced out if they're on the side of right. Those who are up for judgment is what I'm getting. Now they're being brought up for judgment. So we see this happening at high places. I'm just seeing the scale tipping. And now the one side, the left side, going higher. So things are going left. Okay. I'm just hearing that escalated quickly. So something's about to escalate quickly. There's justice coming in for those who are on the other side of right? They're not so right. Ooh, it's a lot of pressure in this energy. Forgive me. It's a lot of heavy energy. So it will be released though. So if you're just feeling this tension, this heaviness, it will be released, right? Political parties are significant, right? Within the movie, within all levels, right? Political parties, specifically conspiracy as it pertains to political parties, are significant. I have some numbers and names for confirmation. 1110, WM initials are significant. Any of the names I mentioned before: Fred, Brandy, Brady, Oscar, DNC. Oh, Lord. I'm hearing the shows they put on are Oscar worthy. Wow. Chicago is significant. Something about the DNC in Chicago is significant. But these betrayals by these people who sit in positions of power, right, are going to be called into justice because they are not for the people. Something about white noise is significant. That takes me to 10:23 on the timer as I say this, so we are in alignment, right? Takes me to when I used to have meetings at a place I worked at. They would put a white noise machine outside of the meeting room so people couldn't hear what was going on inside the meeting, right? So what that gives me is two things. Obviously, there's meetings we're not privy to. They're discussing things and kind of coming out and making decisions, and they don't want people to hear what was discussed in the meeting, right? They're not being transparent, right? Also, I'm hearing it's just a lot of white noise. If you understand, I don't have to try to get you to understand, right? It's just, they're just making noise. There's no substance to white noise. It's just static. It's just nothingness, is what I'm being guided to say, right? So, a whole lot of talking, not a lot being said. That's going to change. Judgment has been called. Hearing court adjourned. Enough is enough. 335 as I say that. 122 as well. Think about the people who created things like Hennessy, Jack Daniels. Something about that is significant. Those creation stories are significant. Who invented certain things are significant, but brown liquors came through specifically, and that's not my thing. So that's a confirmation for someone. But who created these, right? The more we dig, the more we find out that the only thing these people created was the patent system, basically, right? They're nothing but sharks, is what I'm being guided to discuss. Shark Tank is significant. Hammerhead sharks are significant, or a confirmation for someone. But these people working in these positions of power, acting like sharks, like everyone else's prey beneath them, just to be gobbled up without any, I'm hearing, remorse, reprise. They are playing God essentially by gatekeeping, not only just stealing our precious energy, but ideas, creations, and works of art. Work of art is significant. They thought we were all just sitting ducks, right? But what they don't understand is typically, what's the saying? If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck, right? However, we're all wearing skin suits, if you will. So you don't know who's anointed and who's not. You don't know who's who, right? So the who's who are significant. Judgment in those areas as well. Works of art is significant. Take what resonates, right? If you understand, I don't gotta try to get you to understand. But they thought we were all just sitting ducks. Something about the number 11. The 11th hour is what I'm getting. Is that a news show? I believe so. Something about that is significant. But the people in positions of power thought we were all just sitting ducks. The term or phrase, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm, right? That's a very dangerous thing to play with, because on the surface, you don't know who's anointed. You don't know who's a prophet. You don't know who is who. So that's why you're supposed to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, because you never know, I'm hearing what angels or spirits you're entertaining. They should have thought about that, is what I'm hearing. A Sim 2 is not provisioned. So a second simulation has not been okayed. So how we are, something about downtown could be significant in your area. It's going down. Okay. It's going down. But the second simulation has not been okay. So we've lived in this matrix long enough, and they're trying to cast down more matrices, more just grids and systems, and rework the system into a new way to kind of shepherd us into another corner, another box, another matrix. Oh, excuse me, confirmation burp. Has not been okayed, right, by the Most High. I'm hearing it's been subjugated. for inspection. Something about that is significant. Subjugate is significant. Gates are significant. Again, with the gatekeeping, it's done. The gates are coming down is what I'm getting from that. Because gate and sub, gate down. Okay. That's just, okay, so them trying to create another simulation is just putting a band-aid on the issues, right? It's better to fix what we have than to start from scratch. Just as they say it's cheaper to keep her as it pertains to women, cars significant. The same applies to Earth, right? We have to maintain the earth that we live on. We have to maintain it, right? You don't just use it up, right? Like you would do a car, right? You take care of it. It requires regular maintenance to run properly. The same thing with the planet. You don't just use up all her resources and not put back into it. So that's what we're being called to do instead of creating more matrices, fake food, fake people, all types of things, right? So that's what we're being called to do. That's where the judgment's being called, right? These people were only looking to reap rewards, but never learn the lesson. Again, this could be on any level. Individual, I'm hearing spiritual, global, whatever level it resonates for you on. I'm hearing a train honking. I'm hearing a train honking in the background as I say that. So whatever level sticks out to you, then that's the message you were supposed to receive, right? Remember, everything won't resonate for everybody. Also, these messages are timeless. So when you're receiving it, when this message finds you, it was meant to find you in that time. Divine timing is what I'm hearing. Divine timing is at play. And I just keep seeing that gavel being banged, court adjourned. Oh, I'm hearing order in the court. Okay, so we have to get order, right? Get back into the natural order of things. This is not how it was meant to be. A small percentage of the world controlling the resources and the economic status of everyone else. It was never meant to be that way. These people are stuck in I'm hearing polycystic. That's significant for somebody. Okay, so with polycystic coming up, we know that's a condition. That could be somebody's situation. Seek the herbal treatments, right? Follow doctor's orders, do what you need to do. But what I'm getting as far as this coming through in this energy at this time, things are popping up. Multiple things will be popping up, right? Because poly means many and cystic is like cyst, right? I'm getting tissues and fleshy particles in places that they shouldn't be. So we have people, plenty of people in positions of power where they should not be, right? They are a nuisance to the system working properly. Ooh, Lord, talk about direct channel. But they just have the mindset and the political outlook of Gilead, this patriarchal society, is given handsmaid tale. Basically, what they're trying to corner us into, oppressing women by total domination and control using barbaric fear tactics. These wicked agendas have to go. 1010 as I channeled this. 2020 on the timer as I say that. Yeah, heavy on the endings of the lessons, heavy on, things being called to judgment, things in multiple different ways, right? Being called to end. Higher levels and lower levels with the 10, 10, and 2020 coming out. 2020 could be significant. Judgment for 2020 is what I'm getting. Those wicked agendas, the jabs, the things. Okay. If you know, you know. I'm not getting into a political debate about it. If you want to respectfully comment down below, feel free to do that. You know what I say. If you're going to jump in my lane, please be polite. Signal your way over. I'll let you in my lane, okay? As long as we're being polite, okay? Come in my lane with some respect as I would yours, right? So come in my energy. Come on the channel with love and light and respect. If you can't do that, exit stage left is what I'm getting. And that's what these people, plenty of people in these positions of power are being called to do. Exit stage left because y'all couldn't do what y'all needed to do properly. So sorry, this message is going to go a little longer than the others. If you know, you know. You know, when we get into the heavier things, then it gets a little longer because it's a lot to untangle and unpack, specifically because I have to be careful with my words, and also too, there's levels to this shit. But the wicked games are over. The wicked cycles with the wicked agendas are over. Heavy on the P's and W's. WP. I'm hearing willpower. Something about W's and P's are significant. That could be initials, whatever resonates for you. But these agendas are over. The Most High is saying, I guess y'all didn't hear me. Can, if you catch my drift, you're in violation. Let me help you understand since y'all can't get it. Clearly, y'all missed it as it pertains to the people in positions of power, now religious sects, right? So we're talking about all angles, all levels, honey. If you're not ready for this grown ass deep conversation, I'm gonna need you to see your way out because it don't get no lighter from here. Something about Da Vinci is significant. I'm hearing Da Vinci codes. But they know, right? I'm just hearing they know. Okay? So, he says, I know. You ain't that nigga you say you is. Okay, so Most High saying it's clear, y'all bubbles being burst. Everybody knows y'all not who y'all say y'all are. The people in positions of power, whether in your life individually, all the way up the scale to the vast Can, to the Oval Offices of it all across the lands, right? These people in positions of power are a nuisance to the system. I'm hearing a strain for us to operate properly, right? The system doesn't flow. I'm just here. Okay. If you have a polycystic situation, right, your flow is off, right? So that could be significant for someone. So what I'm getting from that is Da Vinci codes and contracts. We talked about contracts before. People in positions of power take certain oaths when they enter into these offices, right? I know I had to. We know we see judges sworn in and have to take oaths on the Holy Bible, on holy text, right? That matters. People in positions of power speaking over the holy text are supposed to be teaching, right? All of that matters. It is their duty to serve the people in an upright position. Kyphosis is significant. Somebody could have kyphosis, Kyphosis. That's when there's a curve in your spine. I'm telling you, the things that come through when I'm channeling messages are wild. But we're meant to be in an upright position on all levels, right? Individually, spiritually, emotionally, and then from us regular people, right? I'm hearing on the regular tier, all the way up to these elites, especially people in positions of power. We are supposed to be in an upright position, be of good posture, and specifically those in power, a reflection of overall well-being, right? They're supposed to be pillars of the community. 144, as I said that, right? But what I'm getting from that is these are people who just put themselves in places of power and position. They weren't really chosen for these roles. We always talk about purpose over paychecks here, right? So these people in this position of power, P's are significant. I'm getting PP and PPP. Some about that significant, but they are meant to be people of upstanding position, people who are actually, I'm hearing entitled, people who are actually intended to be in these positions, not just any old Joe Schmo. Okay, we can't have the leader of the free world as somebody who, eats a constant diet of McDonald's and soda and doesn't read and brags about that daily, right? And who is very, I'm hearing flamboyant, who's very arrogant in his ways of thinking and behaving, right? That's no one to have in a leadership position. And oh, somebody don't want me to say this, but I'm finna to say it anyway. The minds of the people who thought that that was a good idea, I'm gonna need you to come to the front, beloved, because what the fuck was y'all thinking? Like, how did you think that was gonna go well? These people don't hide who they are. They're very much who they are. I'm not gonna get too heavy into this, but this person was egregious to people, treated people so terribly. And I'm getting that the people who voted for this mockery are experiencing it or will be experiencing it too. 340 on the timer as I said that. So we just air out the whole shit, okay? The low vibrational, the Louis. These are people in low vibrational energy who would vote for someone who is dedicated to segregate the country. I was about to say communities, but to segregating the country. Okay, I'm getting people in communities in positions of power. Segregating community. I'm getting the woman calling around asking for formula for her children, and these pastors, several churches said no, and she's a demon and she's trying to start a problem. No, people are looking for help and you can't even turn to your local church. What type of system do we have here, right? If you know, like I know, you know what I'm saying? The Native Americans will let you know, honey, God ain't in the church. He's outside with his creation, right? 444, as I say that, heavy protection, heavy on the stabilizing of the things. And I'll leave that there because we'll be here all day. Don't get me to lecturing, right? But these people should be in a position so upright that we can look up to them. What I'm getting with this kyphosis is they're so curved and lowly that who the fuck would look up to them in any type of way, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? But they're supposed to be teaching, embodying, embracing different confident approaches to life's challenges, as we all should on individual levels, right? They should have good standing within the communities, doing good for goodness sake. That's it. Like, damn, why do this need explained? This really shouldn't need explained for everybody, right? It's not just people in positions of power, people within family dynamics, not supporting each other, tearing each other down, being toxic, talking negative about each other, preying upon each other, not uplifting each other to help the entire family dynamic grow. People in neighborhoods not looking out for each other anymore. The churches don't look out for the people as they should. I'm seeing community stores, people of different races coming into the community, profiting off of the community and never putting back into the community, right? But quick to call the police on somebody or do something, right? Why do this need explained? Why do We've been learning this since childhood, right? You know right from wrong. You know good from bad, right? Nobody should have to tell you how to conduct yourself as a full-grown adult. To add insult to injury, you have a plethora of stories, movies, books, life experiences, religious texts, spiritual things, all the things. Fucking now there's a podcast for everything. You can download an app for everything, right? To learn how to conduct yourself. I'm just hearing mindfulness, right? Somebody might need to everybody needs to look into mindfulness, right? You know, myself included. We all have work to do, and that's the nature of this message, right? While we are asking for judgment and we can call out the people in positions of power who need to get it together in order for society to thrive, we need healed individuals, healthy individuals contributing their most healthy, healed version of self to society, right? We can't just be all out here toxic, not giving a fuck, eating hot Cheetos and living our worst lives, lemon pepper wings, etc., right? And not caring about anything outside of ourselves and us making a bag, right? We have to contribute our best selves to society. And the only way we do that is by growing as individuals. And once we grow as better individuals, we contribute better individuals to society. This isn't rocket science. Truly, it's not, right? You know, could be the Virgo in me, but it's very simple. Just do better. We should be doing good for goodness sake. It shouldn't take all of this judgment to come down. It shouldn't take all this, right? But, you know, what is scripture but a script to be followed? If you know, you know. Check out Truth Be Told podcast 33 for all the enlightenment of things. What is a scripture but a script to be followed? This was destined to happen because man is fickle and thinks they're smarter than everybody, right? We're too smart for our own good. Now, you know, we're building freaking machines to have emotions while we make it our business to be emotionless. Are y'all all right out there? Is it just me picking this up? Like, I don't. But this shouldn't be explained. These people being facetious with God's word and God's work is diabolical. And that's why the axes, thank you, Spirit, are shifting in a different way, in our favor, in the favor of good, to restore divine order and alignment. Too many snakes in the energy. I'm just hearing too many snakes on the plane. Snakes on the plane can be significant. I don't think I've ever watched that. But these people who are supposed to be teaching God's word have been miseducating the masses purposely by omitting facts when they know damn well it will help the world if they told the unmitigated truth. Michael could be significant, or I'm getting Archangel Michael heavy over this situation, or heavy over the people having to call this out 11:11 as I say that. Heavy on the light workers having to usher in this energy, needing that protection, because something got to give. Somebody got to say something, because this is just out of control. Like, the amount of people that act like they don't see what's going on, the amount of people who remain stuck and stagnant in low vibrational energy, right, is just staggering. But they don't really care about us. Michael Jackson is significant. I'm hearing Billie Jean. Deeper meaning. Okay, I'll look into that later. Do what you're called to do. But they don't really care about us. What the world really needs now is love, right? the highest vibration we know. We have all the information and the facts now. Now, okay, we're at the age of Aquarius. We can't act like we don't know these things. The highest vibration is love. If the most high is love, that is the highest you can get, the most high. Okay, let's put on our thinking caps. Let's put on our thinking ears. If the most high is love, why do we strive to be heartless? I'm going to need you to think about that for a second. Everybody want to be cold and detached when we are called to be like him, of love, light, service, and of purpose, specifically his purpose he's bestowed on us through our gifts. All you got to do, it's very simple. Heal thyself, know thyself, ascend thyself, and use your gifts, your special set of skills, to contribute to society in a healthy, serving manner. A good litmus test on current actions is how will our current actions on all levels, individually, spiritually, emotionally, globally, gradually, all the things, all the Lees. Lee can be significant. I'm just seeing Bruce Lee. How will that affect the next 7 generations, right? We must restore that inner balance, that inner chi, and use it for positivity. Bruce Lee's body himself was a deadly weapon, right? But he didn't use it in that way, right? He could have, right? But you learn discipline, right? We're to learn discipline. We're to learn how to use ourselves in the most positive way possible for the purpose of the good of the world. What the world needs now is love, not more heartless people only concerned about how to get to the next bag. When I channeled this message, it was on November 11th, 2025, something about that date or this year could be significant. Thank God it's coming to a close, right? Or November specifically significant. Again, with the 11s, we've been getting 11 coming through. It's 1444 as I say that. Divine change is coming through. New beginnings coming through, okay? This was destined. It was chosen. But when I channeled this on November 11th, I meant to say November 7th, 11/11 coming through. 15 could be significant. 2015 could be significant. The word that came through, I have a word of the day that I get every day because I'm a nerd. Surprise, right? Was iconoclast. And the iconoclast is a term used to describe individuals who challenge traditions. My nose is itching as I say this. Who challenge traditions, question established beliefs, and disrupt the status quo, whether in art, science, politics, or social life. Iconoclasts are often the force behind revolutionary ideas and bold transformations. Understanding this word opens a window into how societies grow, evolve, and sometimes reinvent themselves. This is what we're being called to do. Evolve. We are supposed to evolve as individuals to evolve the planet, to reinvent what is supposed to be, or just come into what's supposed to be. But we need to come home to self, right? Homes could be significant. Someone coming home to oneself. We all need to figure that out. Learn thyself, learn yourself so that you can be the best version of you can be, so you can contribute that best version to society. I won't beat that dead horse. Horses are significant. Horse racing is significant. I saw that too. But now we need to return to how it should be, restoring divine order. Something about clans are significant. Yes, with a K. Also, the word Khan is significant. Homophones are significant. So clans, any way you want to spell it, significant. Con, Khancon. Con, is a con in the English language, right? A trickery thing. But in Spanish, con is with. Okay? Khan is something else, right? So whatever resonates, look into it. I'll probably be doing that as well with you guys. But look into things. Look into what you're called to look into. Follow your path to your purpose, right? Let us not be distracted by other people's path and trying to follow someone else's road, right? If you're so focused on how someone else got to their path, what they're doing on their path, how they got to their destiny, you're going to miss your exit on the road, sweetheart. I'm going to need you to pay attention to your lane, okay? Thank you. But it's being restored to how it should be. All this destiny swapping and stealing destinies is over. Other homophones that are significant, C in various forms, right? See the sea. I'm hearing seashells by the seashore. Tell, and tell. So these are telltale signs that we are seeing right now, right? With these clans, right? Conning the situation, stealing destinies, destiny swapping, stealing what could have been if the truth was told, right? They don't want to tell us the truth about what secret texts are in basements and what they really know to understand about religion. Check out Truth Be Told podcast. I break all this down. Truth Be Told podcast 33 on YouTube. I break down all the things. That is definitely in a page of enlightenment. I talk about religion. I talk about different philosophies. I've talked about several things, how you just got to check it out. I've talked about how the story of Adam and Eve, how the creation story comes from Egypt. All roads lead to Egypt. That's one of the first series I did on there. What I discovered was something that's been on all our faces this whole time. There was a primordial god in Egypt named Atum, or Atum, Atum, Atum. That's where we get atoms. Is the basis of creation. Everything is comprised of atoms. So that's the scientific theory that they peeled off the walls, that they derived from Egyptian texts and skewed the information, whether it was a misinterpretation literally or, purposely to confuse people, right? That's where that comes from. Also, we have Atum and Eve, the primordial god of Egypt, Atum, Atum, Atum. He was described as the evening sun. So Atum was the evening sun. Do you hear me? Atum, evening sun. Atum and Eve. That's how that creation story came about. Now, whether they did it intentionally, twisting it to cause confusion, or there was a, what is it called with language? What the fuck is it called? Or was it as a result of a language barrier or misinterpretation when deciphering some shit they shouldn't have been nebbing their nose in anyway? If the truth had been told, we would have been elevated to where we need to be. Instead, they chose to impede on people's gifts, stifling them. The more people that they stifle and put in positions of struggle where you're so focused on a paycheck, you don't even think about having a purpose. the more empty seats they have to fill with their people. So as long as us regular people never get on our purpose, get on our path, and step into alignment with our purpose, the more empty seats they have to fill with their people. Think about the House of Representatives or the Senate or whatever the fuck it is, and the majority wins, right? Well, if most of us don't take our seats, the seat of our purpose, right? Stop living in autopilot, start taking control of our life, recognizing you do have a purpose and a specific path you're supposed to get on. If we don't do that, then it leaves more seats open for them to put their people in, and it tilts the scales toward their, way, right? Out of balance. This is why the scales have to be balanced. This is why the age of Aquarius had to come and stir things up and wake people up. This is why 3i Atlas came into our energy to drop some splah into our energy, right? To get the shit moving. A cesspool doesn't stink until it's stirred. So unfortunately, pressure bursts pipes or make diamonds. We had to be put in a pressure cooker, basically, for us to wake the hell up and elevate to get in purpose, align ourselves through our chakra system, awaken that third eye, step into Christ consciousness, crown consciousness, whatever you're more comfortable with. Let's not get divisive and goofy. Stepping into that, owning that boss energy, stepping into your star player, lighting up that star chakra, right? And getting into your purpose. This is why divine timing is at play, because they are trying to unleash the second simulation at this time, and it has not been approved. And in order to tip the scales into balance of good, we need more people on the side of good. I talked about this in my video about atoms on Truth Be Told 33 podcast. Think about it as atoms. The more positive, it'll be positively charged. The more negative, it'll be more negatively charged, right? We need to balance it out. We need more positive things in people. So evolve, heal, get positive. If you need to do some healing work, unblock your emotional trauma so you can, stimulate the flow of your life in better ways and figure out how you need to operate self better. But these people stealing gifts, acting like the Tinder swindler out of here, lying and preying upon innocent men, women, and children to feed the ego by way of misinformation, right? Luckily, we're in the age of Aquarius. We have ChatGPT. Don't allow ChatGPT to take over your life and think for you. Think for yourself. Make ChatGPT teach you a thing or two, right? So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said enough. If you are called to visit the other channel to get some enlightenment, I've mentioned it enough times. Truth Be Told Podcast 33 on YouTube. All things enlightenment over there. You can find stuff about healing, individually, relationships, political stuff, philosophy. If you want to talk about the energies, the societies of it all, head over there. That's where all the information is on enlightenment, so we can all learn and grow from one another to get on our path, right? Head over there if you feel called to. Remember to always go in love and light, seek purpose, not just paychecks. Now you know why I say that. And do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And until next time, peace, y'all.